Isak believes he has a promise, a pinky promise with Newcastle United that he could leave the club. The club say no. What do we think? Let's find out right here on Toon Tactics TV, folks.
Brilliant from Shea. And now Murphy can take on the shot. Fabian Shea.
Good evening, folks. How are you all doing? I am so blessed and so grateful to have you guys here with me tonight. Already the chat is booming. I'm purposely slowing myself down because Mr. Isak again is ruining my plans. Guys, I had all sorts of things planned for tonight's show. I was going to talk about Ramsey's all on the thumbnail, the Ramsey Gordon a combo. I will hopefully talk about it. Do the match review for Aston Villa game. Hopefully we'll get to it. I had it all ready. I had it all planned. And then Mr. Isak, in the last hour, he decides to what? He decides to make a grand statement about a promise that he made of Newcastle United. So I had to hop out of the shower. I was on the WhatsApp. Jeez, guys, I was debating with all the guys on the football terrace. And then I had to apologize to Staffy because I had to give an example about contracts and ethics. And I just didn't have the time to do it when I was there. I said I needed something quick. And then I had to go make up for it because it's not right to do that. It's not right to cut corners. So then I had to go on the football terrace. I had to then give a full explanation. I know what it means, what was written. Then I had to give another example. So hopefully I made up to him. Hopefully I can get Staffy, incredible content creator, fierce debater. Goodness gracious me, he's a fierce debater. And hopefully I get him on the show. So we've had all of that. I've had all of that going. So hopefully I'll be able to just slow things down, slow things down. And we'll all have a good evening chat together today about Isak. Hopefully we'll get to talk about Ramsey and the match review. But we have to address the big matters at hand. And obviously that is the Isak statement. We're going to break it down. I'm going to ask you for your views, for your opinions. As always, guys, is breaking X, is breaking the internet. I'm sure it is anyway. I don't know for sure. I'm sure it is, but let's see what happens anyway. But before I do all of that, let me make sure I say hello to folks. See how you guys are all doing. I hope my mic is working as well because you have the money to spend. Sarah Robson, good to see you. God bless you. Even if Philip and chat, what's everyone's thoughts on the latest comments? we're gonna talk. Smokey says, "Are you there?" I know. I'm so sorry, guys. There's no excuses, to be honest. I should have read the comment. I should have kept off WhatsApp. I should have just kept my head down. I should have just got myself ready, cleansed myself, just sat down and just be calm. This is a lesson for the future. So it's this is I'm going to learn from this. I am going to learn from this. Phil, are you there? Yes. Sarah Robson, it works with both ways in terms of broken promises. We may have said under different back rooms certain things, but he was signed a contract in which he agreed to a 6-year deal. Absolutely. Sarah Robson, I know before you say it, a contract is only worth the paper it's signed on, but it's coming down to principles now. Well, there's legal rabbit. I'm going to get into it. Smokey says, but why keep a player that don't want to play again for your club? Well, everyone does that. City done that with Tevez. He helped them win the cup. Liverpool did that with Suarez, and you guys did really, really well. So I see you guys talking amongst yourselves. So all right, cool. Um, Smokey says, "I thought you were in the tower." I was kind of. I wasn't exactly. I was in the shower. Goodness gracious me, that was insane. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let us talk about it. Um, make sure I share this. I didn't even get to because usually because I've even got the. Anyway, I'll explain it later. I hope you guys can hear me. The worst I can get now is people telling me they can't hear me. Goodness gracious. Where are you? Here you are. Here you are. Here you are. Here you are. Can we see that? All right. So there it is in black and white. Ironically, it's in black and white, isn't it? Um, I don't know if that's Instagram or if that's intentional. I have no idea. All right. Let me know, guys, if in the chat, if you guys can hear me well and everything is okay. Because goodness, with the way how everything is going at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised. Excellent. Thank you for that, Smokey. All right, so let's go through it. Now, just to add context, right? We all know what tonight is about. Tonight is the PFA Awards, Player Football Awards. You see the big images, the big screen, Mo Salah at the front, even Chris Wood is there, God bless him. Raven Birch, all the guys, all the top players are there. And the one notable absentee, one Newcastle United player who had the absolute privilege. Oh, great. Now my camera's off. But he had the and my camera now is off. Let me take this one out because my camera is off. But he had the absolute privilege of being on that stage, courtesy to Newcastle United. Gosh, my mic is on and off now. Great, fantastic. Here we go. Can we get it going? Jeez. All right, let's see what we can do. Can we get you going? Can we get the camera going? I hope we can. Right, sorry guys. Hope you can hear me now. My camera's going to go off a little bit. We're just going to have to hang with me. Let me share my screen anyway. I can see it going off. Oof. Yeah, camera's doing a funny one. All right, so the camera is on a funny one. Today, will I be able to fix it? That is the question. I hope I can. Let's go with it. It's the PFA Awards. Mo Salah, everybody is there. Everybody is there. Notable absentee, Mr. Isak, who has the privilege of being nominated to go on there. I forget if it's the players, it's the fans, is it the journalists? I forgot who does it. Somebody nominates him, right? And by the grace of God and by the grace of Newcastle United, us building a team around him and supporting him and his own talent that he has got there. And that was a notable absentee. But now we're talking about timing. Mr. Isak has notable timing. And what is that timing? It's the PFA Awards. The one time everybody's talking about Isak, one time everybody wants to know where Isak is. They know the situation. They know that he's on the contract and that he doesn't want to, he wants to leave Newcastle. He wants to go to Liverpool. People are now doing hashtags free Isak and everything else. So everything is, it's his timing couldn't be any better, right? So I want to note that first before I get into this. So it's the PFA Awards. Everybody's talking about it. They're all talking about the man that's not there in Isak. God help us if he won it. Goodness gracious, if he won it. I hope did he win it? I don't know. You guys can tell me. And he sends this message out, and then he says, "Oh, so Salah won it. Okay, good. At least the man who trains for his club won it." Sorry. So anyway, so let's read it. I'll do my best to be as even-handed as I can. And the good thing about actually being on the football terrace and actually I'm also debating on the WhatsApp with people, I get to hear other people's views and other people's angles, and I will do my best to represent the best of their arguments in order to as I'm challenging those arguments as well. I'm going to do my best to avoid cynicism and underhand kind of tactics to do that. I'm going to do my best to do that, and I've got you guys to keep me on track. All right, so this is Alexander Isak. I think it's via Instagram, and it reads, "I'm proud to be recognized by my fellow professionals with a place in the PFA Premier League team of the season for 2024-2025. So he must be in the Premier League team of the season, right? Good. He then goes on to say, first and foremost, I want to thank my teammates and everyone at Newcastle United who has supported me along the way. So he's acknowledging the club, he's acknowledging his teammates, and everybody that supported him along the way. And it's important to recognize that. It's important to show the people, the club, the players, everyone who has supported you along the way to help enhance and empower your talents in order to on the field, and now that they've been recognized, and the club that's given you the platform to do that. Fair enough. He then goes on to say, and this is where the paragraphs get a little bit more thicker. There's a little bit more lines. I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken. He says, I've kept quiet for a long time while I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken. So to me, the impression that Isak is giving away to me is he's exercised self-discipline. I've kept quiet. In the face of adversity, others have been talking. Others have been talking and they've been talking about me, but I've kept quiet. And not for a short time, for a long time. He doesn't give the length of time. Did it start from the day the transfer window opened? Did it start a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Did it start when intermediaries or agents or people linked to Liverpool came to him and offered him the opportunity to move to Liverpool? Is that when he kept silent? I don't know. Is it when, so we don't know the length of time, but he says, according to Isak, he's kept quiet a long time. But other people have spoken. So it's a bit of I don't know what the word would be, a sly dig maybe. That silence has allowed me to push. That silence has allowed people. Okay, hold on. So he said, I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken. That silence has allowed people. He's being very general here. He's not saying people, he's not saying who specifically, but we can assume it's people associated to Newcastle United. We'll assume that it might be to our detriment, but we'll find out. Maybe he's talking about his agent. We'll find out. We're going to find out in a moment. That silence has allowed people to push their own version of events. This is interesting because for me this speaks of narratives. We've been talking on this channel with everybody, guy. We've been talking about narratives. We've been talking about people. In fact, Mitch, is that you, Mitch? Mitch, have you got? Let me. Are you available to come on the channel? Let me know if you're available to come on the channel. And I'll send you the link. Yeah, let me know, Mitch, if you're available to jump on the channel, because I want to make sure, if you can, it'll be absolutely amazing if you can, because I want to make sure. Let me just make sure I get, if he is available. Oh, not here. Jeez. If you can, sir, that'll be phenomenal. Let me send you the link on here. Where are you, Mitch? If you can, it would be absolutely phenomenal, because then I'll have someone to break this down with me. And Mitch is really good at this stuff. So let me start again. If Mitch can come on, it'll be absolutely phenomenal. And Mitch does say hit the likes, people. Please do hit the likes. So I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken. So according to Isak, he's kept self-discipline. He's kept quiet for a long time. We don't know how long he's kept quiet for. Others have spoken. That silence has allowed people to push their own version. So him keeping quiet. So he's kind of already insinuating here, or he's saying, it's almost like, when people say, you've taken my kindness for a weakness. You've taken my kindness for a weakness. That silence has allowed people to push their own version of events. That kindness has allowed those people, he hasn't said who those people are. Again, I think it's obviously, we can only assume it's talking about people associated to Newcastle United, the people that have his contract, has allowed people to give their own version of events. He uses the word version. Thanks, Mitch. That'll be absolutely phenomenal. To give their own version of events, their own narratives, their own truths, how they see things, not how I see things. Even though, he continues, it's a comma, even though they know it doesn't reflect what was really said and agreed behind closed doors. So let's break that down. That silence has allowed people to push their own version of events. They took my kindness for a weakness, and it's allowed them to give their narratives, their versions, their truths on what has happened. Even though, so this is despite of, even though that those people know, they know, whoever those people are, they know it doesn't reflect. So he's calling them liars without saying liars, right? I wonder if this is his second or third draft. I'm pretty sure he wanted to call them liars, but he didn't. I'm sure there's some legal ramifications about putting your club in disrepute. So even though they know, so they know the truth. They know the truth. They've been pushing their events. They've been pushing their version of events. They've been pushing their truths. I know, Smokey. They've been pushing their version of events. They've been saying what they want to say. So really, they're lying. They're pushing their agenda. They're pushing their narratives. They took my kindness for a weakness. I've held my tongue. I've been patient with them, even though they know the truth. What was really said behind closed doors. Let's talk about that word closed doors, where nobody else saw, in the private rooms, in the halls of power. Not on the contract, by the way. He's avoided the word contract. Behind closed doors, what we're talking about behind closed doors, or when people say off camera, when I always introduce guests to you guys and I tell you guys, that's the whole point. That's the whole point, Smokey. He says no one knows behind what's going on behind closed doors. Only Isak knows. Only Isak knows. What we do know is there's a contract. That's the part that is being avoided. That's the part that has been avoided. When I say to you folks, I introduce people on the show, I have fabulous guests that come on. I say, look, off camera, so and so is, an incredible person. Da, 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 da. So, I'm saying, just as that person is in front of you, off camera, behind closed doors, when you guys can't see them, that person is incredible. That person has been generous to me, has done this, that, that kind of stuff. So it's things that you don't see. So just take my word for it, right? So this is what Isak is saying. Behind closed doors, take my word for it, that these people at Newcastle United, the same people that hold his contract, were saying different things. On the other side of the closed doors, in public, all the statements they've been releasing, right? They've been given their own version of events. They've been given their own narratives. They've been given their own truths or half truths or whatever you want to call it. Isak is what Isak is saying, that something else has been going on in private where nobody else has seen. Only Isak, and I'm going to assume his agent, knows. So this is what Isak is saying. I've been disciplined. I've kept my word. I've kept my tongue. I've watched others speak their version of events, even though they know in private, when they met me face to face, eyeball to eyeball, they've told me something else. But they know behind closed doors we've been saying something else. And it appears to me that only Isak seems to be privy to this information. So for anybody that's watching, in my opinion, Isak is holding himself up to a higher esteem. He is the one who's been disciplined in holding his silence, while others have talked and they've given their own version of events. And what is already intimating is that those version of events are different to those. In fact, he's saying it from what's going on behind closed doors. What he's intimating is that they're lying. They've taken my kindness for weakness. I've kept quiet while they have spoken. They've taken my kindness for weakness. He's the victim. We go on to say, the reality is that, now he's going to tell us what it is. He's going to tell us in this fourth paragraph, he's going to tell us what it is. The reality is that promises were made. The reality is that promises were made. So it sounds like what Melissa Reddy was saying. If you guys remember, we had a show, was it last week, talking about Melissa Reddy, Fabrizio Romano. Promises were made, right? So already we know that they've spoken directly to Isak. Isak is saying he's kept quiet. But Melissa Reddy said that she has spoken to Isak's camp. And he's almost already word for word saying what Melissa Reddy had said. Promises were made. Fabrizio Romano, promises were made. I think Ornstein said the same thing. Promises were made. So in my view, before I even go on to read the next word, Isak is already contradicting himself when he says, I've been silent while others have talked. For me, in my point of view, my just reading that, he's already contradicted himself. He hasn't been quiet. He's been talking very loudly through others. But fine, I'll be, this is why I invited opposition fans and rival fans, because I really want to be challenged on this stuff. But I can't see it any other way. So it's good to be challenged. So the reality is that promises were made, and the club, he won't even say Newcastle United, the club were made. The promises, so the reality is that promises were made, and the club has known my position for a long time. How long? Did they find out today? Did they find out last week? Did they find out 2 weeks ago? Did we find out at the start of the transfer window? Was it in January? When did we find out about your position, Isak? Why are you not specific about that? I don't know. Why is Isak not specific about when he let the club know what his position is? Martin Bland says it's a direct attack on Eddie. He's the only one that has spoken publicly, and he uses the behind the closed doors quote that Eddie used in the last press conference. That's very well observed. That's very well observed, Martin. I didn't think of that. I really hope Isak. I really, really hope Isak, you're not directing this at Eddie Howe. Out of all the people to direct it at, you're going to direct at Eddie Howe. Okay. Okay. Martin Bland says he will not win the battle of words of Eddie. He won't. That's for sure. Smokey says he has promised things that never happened. That's what country. Yeah. Clearly. And we're going to go into that, Smokey. Make a point there. Martin Bland says he may have been promised things off the record by an owner that was removed from the club, but nothing in writing, which is key. 6-year contract is the only formal promise made by either side. Yeah. Smokey says he feels that he was let down. Okay. Martin Bland says we all do. We love the man. I think you guys are talking amongst yourselves there. Smokey says the only person I feel sorry for is Eddie. He's a good manager. You know what? I know people will say that. It's not towards you, Smokey. Everyone says I feel sorry for Newcastle fans. I feel sorry for Eddie. For me personally, this is just me as Toon Tactics TV, as Philip. You guys don't need to feel sorry for me. For me, like as a Newcastle fan, I'm proud of my club so far for standing firm against this media and this media storm, the backlash from rival fans, the backlash from Isak and his agent. I'm proud of my club so far for standing firm. I am, me personally, I do not want any sympathy. Cy Robson says he should have got it in a legal binding contract. Yes, a bit like he was with Newcastle in the form of a 6-year contract. Absolutely. Martin Bland says club could not in any way honour any gentleman's agreement due to PSR pressures. Isak was told he would get a new deal by a later date as there were priorities ahead of this. Yes, Gordon and others for the club. Absolutely. The club is working for the club. Mighty Mag, good to see you, sir. God bless you. Hey, Philip, how are you doing, sir? Good to see you, sir. I'm just breaking down the statement from Isak. I promised to be, I promised to be objective, and I'm failing miserably. I fear. So I welcome all challenges, honestly. Because all right, so where were we? Where were we? And I'll get back to the chats in a moment, but where were we? In the fourth paragraph, he says, the reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time. He hasn't given us the time. He hasn't expanded. When did it happen? Was it today? Was it a week ago? Was it 2 weeks ago? Was it a year ago? When were these promises made? Why would not Isak say when these promises were made? Who made these promises? Does Isak not want to be specific in case he gets called out? I wonder, and people let me know if there'll be a club statement. And we'll see, and I'm sure there will be in the morning. I hope it's robust. He won't say when it was. He won't say when these promises were made, how long ago, who made these promises, and that the club has known his position. Does Isak know what the club's position was? It's in the contract. What was the club's position, Isak? But anyway, for a long time, to now act as if these issues are only emerging is misleading. He's been very careful to avoid the word lying. He's saying the club has been misleading him. He's saying that the club has been saying to people that this has only been emerging now. To pretend that it's only happening now is lying. But when did it happen? Did you say, when did it happen, Isak? During the football season? When we're still playing? When did it happen, Isak? What was your expectations? He goes on to say, when promises are broken and trust is lost, so the Newcastle broke their promise to him, and now his trust is lost. He's the victim. The relationship cannot continue. It can. It can. The contract says that you signed says it has to continue. It's not just a relationship, it's a legally binding agreement, Isak. We're not like boyfriend and girlfriend with you. We're not your mummy and daddy. I knew I'd fail. I knew I would fail at being objective in here. I knew I would fail. I wish I had a rival fan here or somebody. Hopefully, maybe Mitch when Mitch comes on. He might add some objectivity. The relationship cannot continue. So is Isak saying that he's going to hand in a transfer request? Is that what we're going to expect? What's Isak going to do? When he says the relationship cannot continue, so he qualifies that. So he says, that's where things are for me right now. So he's saying I'm not going to continue. It's broken. And why change is in my best and why change is in the best interest of everyone, meaning my move to Liverpool. it's not just for me, guys. It's not just about me. Me going to Liverpool is best for everybody. I wonder if Melissa Reddy helped him write this statement. Ah, my man, Mitch is here, guys. I'm so happy you're here, Mitch, because I'm still. This is what lets me know that I'm so new and so green to YouTube, and I'm finding it hard to even read the statement. I said to the people at the beginning, I'm going to do my best to be objective. But the more I'm reading through these lines and breaking it down, the more I'm like, I'm feeling myself becoming even more a little bit cynical or whatever about it. But maybe the chat will tell me otherwise. So I just got to the part at the end towards it, and I'm sure you've read it and you're reading it all over again. I'll get your views on it. I'm breaking it down so far, and I'll give you the breakdown so far of what I've read so far. But so he says right at the bottom, folks, when promises are broken and trust is lost. So he's saying that the club has broken his promise to him, and the trust is lost. His trust is lost. The relationship cannot continue. And I said, I feel that it can because he has a contract for it to continue. That's where things are for me right now. That's how Isak feels about it. And why change? This is the line that broke the camel's back. There's a couple lines really. And why change is in the best interest of everyone, not just myself. It's not just about me. Me moving to Liverpool is for the benefit. Can't you see, Newcastle fans? I'm doing this for your benefit. Oh my! And I was wondering. Oh, God help me, Mitch. I was wondering if Melissa Reddy wrote this statement for him. So I'll quickly break this down. I'll give you what I've received from it, Mitch, and I'll get your views and opinions, and I'll go to the chat. I talked about the timing of it, the PFA awards. He's a notable absentee everybody's talking about. Everybody online, everybody on X, everybody's talking about it. Isak. He's not a PFA. The contract, Liverpool, all this other stuff. So I feel this statement is very well timed, right? I'm sure the algorithm on X is blowing up. My WhatsApp is blowing up. He's made it clear that he's kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken. So he's a disciplined one. He's the one that's keeping himself quiet while others have spoken. He said they've given their version of events, which he's essentially saying is lying because they've said other things behind closed doors. And he's also saying, by saying, while I've kept quiet, they've gone on to say what they want to say. So they've taken my kindness for weakness. They've taken advantage of me. I'm the victim, whilst Newcastle or the people who have his contract are the offenders here. Because what they're saying in public is different to what's happening in closed doors. He then says the reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time. He has not made it specific as to when these promises were made. Was it made today? Was it made yesterday? Was it made at the start of the transfer window? When was it made? Who made these promises? Who had the power to say, yes, I agree with your promises? And I think Martin Bland talked about Eddie Howe speaking in the press conference saying they've spoken behind closed doors and things like that nature. So Martin Bland was talking, maybe this is aiming at Eddie Howe. I was saying that I hope it's not aiming at Eddie Howe because the one guy, even his teammates have been shielding Isak from Isak. The whole club have been shielding him. So anyway, he says all this is. Promises were made and now they act as if these issues are only now emerging is misleading. So the club have been telling everybody else everything has been fine. The situation now is just blowing up. When he uses words like misleading or this and that, he's just saying the club is lying. That we've been misdirecting people. I don't think we're misdirecting Fabrizio Romano. And when he says, Isak has been saying, I've kept silent, I've made the point of Melissa Reddy just the other week said, I've been talking to Isak's camp. And she has almost said these things verbatim. Promises broken, promises were made. He's almost repeating exactly what Melissa Reddy was saying, what Fabrizio Romano was saying, what I think Ornstein was saying as well. So in my view, this is me, Philip, Toon Tactics TV, I think it's Isak who's been misleading. He hasn't been silent, and he's been talking through others because he's saying exactly what they're saying. So he's saying that the club has broken their promise. His trust is broken, and he cannot continue. And in fact, for this whole thing to be resolved, for it to be better for everybody, for every Toon fan, and my apologies to the chat. Goodness gracious. For it to be in everybody, in your best interest, Mitch, in my best interest, in the Newcastle fans on chat, it's in he's doing this for us. This statement, this everything is for our benefit. He's doing this for us, guys, to move to Liverpool. It's not him. It's not for him. It's not just for him. It's for you guys. Is what Isak is saying. So Isak's the victim. Newcastle are the offenders. We broke our promises. We've lied. We've misled. He's kept silent while we've been yapping and telling everybody and spinning our narratives. And now the situation's broken. The only way to repair this is if he gets his move. And I'm going to end it, conclude it now. I appreciate I've talked for a while. When Isak first didn't go to the tour, and they interviewed our players, Kieran Trippier, Dan Burn, Bruno Gomes, everything that he wrote now, they knew that this is what Isak would say. But you know what they said? No, he's injured. He'll be back. They covered for him. Eddie Howe covered for him. They protected this man. Each and every one of those people in the club, they protected him from himself. And he chooses this. He calculates this award. He calculates by releasing this statement during the PFA Awards, as all the guys are standing there. Mo Salah, even Chris Wood is there. Aaron Birch, they're all there. And everybody's saying, but the one guy who's not there. And we all know why. And if you didn't know, you're going to find out that night. And he releases this statement. I couldn't be more disappointed. But I believe that this, if anything, is Isak's last throw of the dice. This isn't him leaving. This is his last throw of the dice. And I so hope Newcastle stay firm. So I'm going to stop talking. Be very patient with me, Mitch, and the chat. You've read it. You've heard it. What's your thoughts? And by the way, thank you so much. Literally just coming on as well last minute like that. So yeah, just take it away, Mitch. Let me know your thoughts.
I'm in a similar boat to you, man. It's one of the most frustrating things I've read in a very long time. Like that second last paragraph, without that, it leaves it sort of open to interpretation of whether it could be this is Isak's start of his groveling. Potentially it's aimed at maybe his agent who's been feeding stuff into the media. But to mention the club and promises made and not been followed up there's no doubt this is aimed at Newcastle. But the contradiction in itself is a contradiction, because really the only person who's spoken out or been asked anything is Eddie Howe. And he's not really said anything negative about Alexander Isak at any point. He's not come out and said Isak's gone on strike, Isak's done this, he's done that. as always, he's as diplomatic as can be and leaves
Yeah.
nothing for anybody to know, because it's a private situation to be dealt with that way. And this, for me, it's his last throw of the dice, but it's also him blowing up whatever was left of the bridge for him to get back in. Because when he doesn't leave, because I don't think they'll won't let him go, he's
I
got
think-
nowhere to go for a full
Yeah.
season. There's no integration now. There's no way of getting, because he's turned his back on every single person who has been in an interview and who has not turned around and thrown him under the bus. Because he's now turned around and thrown everybody under the bus, the whole club, even though no one's actually come out and said anything negative about him. That's the most annoying thing about this statement. If Newcastle, if Eddie Howe or one of the players had come out and said, yeah, I don't like the way he's going about things, he shouldn't be going about it this way, needs to be dealt with in a different way, he's got a lot to do to get back in the team, we're not selling him because of this. If someone had come out and said that, I'd kind of understand this statement, but no one has actually said anything. So for him to come and do this and make it so that he can literally, like, I can't see how he ever plays for the club again. But I also can't see why PIF would just turn around and go, yeah, we're going to sell now, because the price is still the price. If someone comes in with 150 and he goes, cool, because that's the price. But anything below that, you're staying and you're not playing football for a whole season, and you've done it to yourself. We haven't done it to you. The club hasn't done it to you. You and your agent have created this situation through the media with Liverpool, and also from the Liverpool side of things. As much as I'm not a massive fan of Liverpool and the way they do things in general, to be fair, this makes it sound like this has all been driven by Isak and his agent. And a lot of the Newcastle hate is towards Liverpool, whereas now I feel like they've actually been thrown in a situation where Isak's kind of put them in a crap situation as well. Because if they don't then come and pay the money, it makes them look dumb. And these promises, what are the promises?
They're saying in the chat that Newcastle have said that we're not selling. We're not selling. We're not selling. I need to read this. You talk. I'm gonna look for the statement from Newcastle.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would make it. It would be hilarious if someone high up at the club came out and said, "Yeah, we've seen the statement. He's still not for sale. In fact, he's not for sale even more now. There's no chance he's going." So I would love it if they came out and did that. And I'm probably one of the few people that was all for him coming back in and being reintegrated and always believed he would be. But now I cannot see a way back. I just don't get it. I don't get what he thinks he's going to achieve from this, how he thinks this is going to work for him in any way, shape or form. But it's just a terrible, terrible thing to do. Whether he's made this decision or it's his agents and he's got along with it, it's just stupid. It's so dumb.
So I'm hearing a bit of feedback. Have you got YouTube on or something?
No. This is the only thing. I haven't got anything else open, to be fair.
Sorry. Let me see if I can get. Am I behind the paywall on this? Okay.
I'd love to know what these promises are. It's such a fluffy bit as well. Like, why not be more specific?
All right. So
why not come out and say I was told this and told that, rather than just saying promises?
I think he's just. Can you see the exclusive?
Yeah,
Newcastle. All right. Respond. So Newcastle exclusive. This is just 17 minutes ago. I think I've had people in the chat talking about it. We're not going to talk about Ramsey today, folks. So apologies, or to even review the Aston Villa game. But we're going to have a great pre-match review for Thursday for Liverpool. Isak, you've really helped that home game. Home game is going to be insane. You know what? They're going to talk about this 10, 20, 30 years from now about, St. James's, I don't know what they're going to call it, like clash, whatever. Anyway, Craig
it's going to be like that 4-3 that keeps getting replayed. I'll guarantee it. One way or another, it's going to go down in the Newcastle games in Premier League history with the Man United 5-0, this is going to be one of them games that you're going to hear about for a very long time now.
Honestly.
And I am sure of it.
It couldn't get any higher. The what do you call it? The heat. It couldn't get any higher. So Craig Hope is released today, right now, 10:43 p.m. So just 20 minutes ago. Exclusive. Newcastle responds. You know what, Mitch? I was saying to the folks in the chat, maybe we'll hear from Newcastle tomorrow. I love this. Within the hour. You know when you get, they call it get back.
Yeah.
I love this. This lets me know that we're like, no matter what happens, I'm like, I love this. I love that it's so quick and it's so swift. Exclusive. Newcastle respond after Alexander Isak breaks his silence with bombshell statement, claiming the club have broken promises as on strike star tries to force Liverpool move. Craig Hope goes on to say, and by the way, I've accepted all these cookies because of this. I had to accept it for you guys just to read this. Isak's made me break a lot of promises. This thing anyway, and it's my fault. It's my fault. Newcastle United now have no intention. I love this club. Newcastle United have no intention of allowing Alexander Isak to leave in light of a bombshell statement in which he accused the club of broken promises. So I love the returners. You know what? You know what's going to happen now? You know all this searching we've been doing for a striker? Oh, we don't even need to do that no more. Forget all of that, bro. We're not going to do any of that. The club have pursued alternative. It's so interesting. Now that I've said that, I haven't read the second line, but now the third line, the second paragraph, now he's saying it. The club have pursued alternatives all summer. And had they signed one of their top targets, Liverpool, this is what people about the Ekatike deal, they would have explored Isak's sale to Liverpool, recognizing his desire to move on. We told you. You cannot say Newcastle for all the banter we get, for all the rejections. And by the way, no other content creator is putting this up. Mr. Ornstein was on a show about, I forgot what the show was, people will know, a sports agent saying Newcastle's linked to Cunha. Newcastle never bid for Cunha. The people are exaggerating all these rejections, but nobody's putting that up. Anyway, I digress. The club have pursued alternatives all summer, and had they signed one of their top targets, they would have explored Isak's sale to Liverpool, recognizing his desire to move on. However, the message from the top tonight is that, and that I can only imagine when you're talking about, you can only be talking about Yasser, unless I don't think you've got MBS on the phone. That's not happening. However, the message from the top tonight is that Isak will be told he is staying at the club. So it says will be told. It's a verb. They haven't talked to him just yet. It will be. The hierarchy believe they have now been left with no choice but to stand firm after the striker released his inflammatory statement. And look, I know there's a lot of people in the chat, and guys, forgive me for not answering. We will get to it. But I had to break down that statement. No matter how you feel about it, some people are calling me deluded, you believe this, you believe that, I'll take it. But we spent the time breaking down that statement. And I think it's someone, I think I got the chat up. Oh no, now I took it off. Let me put it back on. But I've got Martin Bland's chat. Let me go back to it. He says, you read it once, you're shocked. You read it again, you're speculating. You read it again, you're annoyed. You read it 10 times and you want to punch inanimate objects. When you break down this statement, you cannot tell me that it's not inflammatory. It's going to make me get the cookies out again. All right. So, sorry, Mitch, and do feel free to intervene. But inflammatory statement. So, anyway, Craig Hope goes on to say, as recently, can you see it by the way? Do I need to
We're
zoom?
still on Twitter. We're still on the Twitter, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Can you see it now?
Yeah, that's all good.
Should I zoom in?
The paragraph just above the first picture. So that paragraph there. However, the message from the top tonight. That paragraph there is what I've been waiting to see from our hierarchy through this whole thing. The statement of basically, we ain't no fools.
No.
Everybody's been trying to little bro us off and pretending we're little brother all summer. And I've been saying to people, watch out, because little brother's growing up. That statement there is the moment that the big brother grabs you up against the wall, or the bully grabs you, vision dinner money, knock his hands off, give him a slap and say, I'm too big for that now, go away. And that's it. That's the end of the bullying. That statement is that right there. That is the moment where clubs are going to need to recognize that you don't just come and you steal our players. You come and do things the right way, or you get nothing from us. And that is exactly what we needed to do this summer with this situation. And they've played it perfectly.
The way you say that, Mitch, do you think Newcastle kind of sensed that this is going to happen?
Yeah, it's one of them, the saying that you give someone enough rope, they'll hang themselves.
Right.
That's what they've been doing.
It's the way they say it. Yeah. It's the way they say that we're left with no choice now. We haven't got a choice, guys. What can we do? What can we do now? We've got no choice. This is a bit of a coming to age moment for Newcastle. We've had a few of these. I sense that this is one of those ones. And you're right, Mitch. However, the message from the top tonight, and I almost feel like Craig Hope is quoting this verbatim. He's on the phone to Yasser Ramayan, and Yasser Ramayan is literally saying to him, however, the message from the top tonight is that Isak will be told not asked, not requested, no please, no thank you, no could you, would you like to? Isak will be told he is staying at the club. The hierarchy believe they have now been left, and this is what we're talking about, with no choice but to stand firm after the striker released his inflammatory statement. You can disagree with Newcastle fans about his whatever, about his ambitions and whatever it is. That statement was inflammatory. At some point, I'll complete this article. And by the way, big up to all the folks in the chat. Is it 30 plus here now? Guys, God bless you. Please do like, share, and subscribe. We will read your chats at the end. Even Mitch has come on literally whilst I was in the chat. He didn't expect to come on today, but I'm so blessed to have Mitch on here today. You guys are blessed to have Mitch on today. So please do like, share, and subscribe. All right. So as recently as this weekend, as recently as this weekend, they were still trying to bring in two strikers. That would have allowed them to consider a renewed approach from Liverpool, having previously missed out on the likes of João Pedro, Liam Delap, Hugo Ekitike, or Benjamin Sesko. What does that line say? What does that say to you, Mitch? What they're trying, the club is communicating here.
To me, that now says that, right, we were looking for a way to let you go.
Yes.
Now we're not. You're staying. We will do what we need to do as a club to keep us sufficient. It's not about you now. We're not going to be on a striker search so you can get your move. You're going to have to wait till we're good and ready.
I agree.
Which is, to me, is the perfect way to go about it. Like, especially now he's done this.
And it's the first time now that Newcastle, I really take this as a public statement. Like, this is like them naming the names. They didn't just say, oh, we've been looking for strikers. They've named the strikers. We know, obviously, if you put, but this is, I really feel this is a direct, I'm taking this as a verbatim statement. I know I talk about narratives a lot and things, and I'm taking this as verbatim. I really think I'm taking it as this. João Pedro, Liam Delap, Hugo Ekitike, or Benjamin Sesko. Any of those signings would have helped to release Isak. Okay. So he goes on to say, but signing one, let alone two, has proven difficult. We know that. And the growing likelihood was that Isak will have to stay on Tyneside, despite his insistence on never playing for the club again. He can insist on all he likes. We've tried. The 25-year-old broke his silence on his strike on Tuesday night, saying trust was being lost and that a change was best for all parties. It's interesting that Craig Hope has picked up on that line as well. I promise you guys, I don't know who Craig Hope is, but he's picked up on that line as well. And I don't know if this is the next part, whether it's going to be Craig Hope's opinion or it's going to be the club's statement on this. But I'd love to hear what they're going to say, because they've picked up on this line. Either Craig Hope or the club, or both have picked up on this on this line. So let me see what they said. Tell me there's more. So go on. So he goes, Daily Mail Sport revealed last month that Isak and his camp were furious last summer when new sporting director Paul Mitchell told them he would not be getting a new contract because we gave it to Gordon. We messed up on Gordon. That's my opinion. We told the guy we're selling him. Like, I understand Gordon's case. For me personally, people might disagree, and I understand that, but the way I've seen the reports and what I've kind of deduced from it, I'm taking it as we messed up on Gordon. Previous co-owner Amanda Stavely, and this is Newcastle, through Craig Hope explaining this, or Craig Hope's opinion, Mitch in the chat can let me know. Previous co-owner Amanda Stavely has discussed improved terms with them in the spring, believing he was worth and due a pay rise. Okay, so that's transparent. That led to a feeling of resentment, and Isak's mind was made up that he wanted to move on. Informing the club at the end of last season, so now I don't know why Isak didn't make it in his statement, but Craig Hope is saying this, informing the club at the end of last season, so the season obviously just gone now, of his intentions to leave. However, Newcastle have tried and so far failed to find a replacement. Sources close to this situation believe this has triggered the release of a statement in which Isak says there's no way back. What do you make of that, Mitch?
It seems to me that Isak's tried to dance around what's actually been told to him by who, and the club have now fed information directly in and saying that this is what's happened. Amanda Stavely said about a new contract, which is quite a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now Paul Mitchell has refused a new contract, probably because Isak's already said that he wanted to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And now Paul Mitchell's not even here. And Isak's kicking off over stuff and promises and information that have come from two people that are no longer even at the club. And the thing that's probably not even been mentioned here is that he, yes, probably was promised a new contract. Maybe he was told he could leave. If he was told he could leave, he probably also would have been told at that time that you can leave if we get our valuation. It's not, we're not going to turn around and go, well, if someone just bids a random amount, you can go. Like, there's going to be a set valuation. If we get it, you can go. As long as we're also covered for what we need once you leave. None of that stuff that applies to us that we need has happened. So he's not going to get his need before we get it. He's got way too long left on his contract. And that is the key thing here. He's made one promise, which is signed on paper, legally binding, 6 years on whatever pay he gets, legally binding. All he's got is people he's had conversations with saying certain things to him that he's taken as gospel, which, if you're talking to friends, if you're talking to family, is all well and good. When you're working in business, anything that's not written down on paper on a document that's legally binding can change very quickly. And that's what's happened to him here. And I get why he's frustrated, but he's gone about it in the worst way humanly possible. I didn't agree with the way he's gone about this summer, but I was still kind of willing that, okay, he's been badly advised. There's a way back. Now, none of that. You play by our rules now. You're either probably going to have to sit out unless there's someone at the club or Eddie Howe who can patch all this up with the players first before he gets anywhere near the team and somehow get him back in. But I just can't see it.
I can't say I don't agree. So they go on to say, I've kept quiet. So they quote what he said, that they've just quoted what he said. I've kept quiet for a long time. I've spoken. He wrote in his Instagram account. That silence has allowed people to push their own version of events, even though that doesn't reflect what was really said and agreed behind closed doors. Well, Craig Hope has already explained that. The reality is that promises were made, and the club has known for my position for a long time now. To now act as if the issues are only just emerging is misleading. The club have acknowledged that through Craig Hope. When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. These things are for me right now, and why the change is best of interest yet. So the two people that, like you said, the two people that made him those promises. And maybe this is why I don't know. This might be the reason why Miss David is not at the club. I have no idea. But she's not. You're right. She's not at the club. And
Stacey's been gone for ages.
She's been. How long has it been now? Has it been 2 years? How long has it been?
It's got to be coming on nearly 2 years. Like, that is crazy. We've had 2 directors of football since then.
I almost feel like it's not even. I just think he just wants to move.
All this says to me is that he's either got no loyalty in football at all, or he's just not very smart. Before
I go to the chat, can you see this from Sean Casey's got? Can you see it? The thing?
Yeah.
Luis Suarez. Now, I don't know if you saw my previous show, Mitch. I know that you get to tune in sometimes as well. I did one on Carlos Tevez for Manchester City. He refused to play during the game and then flew off to Argentina. And Man City for 3 months, and Man City still refused to sell him. He came back and then they won their first Premier League. Because I think I saw something, and big up Bobby Fairview. I think I've seen the chat, sir. God bless you. Yeah, I think you're talking about the legal stuff about it, where apparently there's a strong case that he'll get settled out of court and he'll be allowed to walk. I'll be shocked. I don't know if Isak would really want to take on PIF in court. Look how it's working for the Premier League with the Saudi owners of Man City. I'll be shocked. But anyway, this is the Luis Suarez situation. Was the situation. Luis Suarez is told to train away from the Liverpool squad. Isak. PFA warns player that legal action might not be successful. Echoing back to Mr. Fairview and the situation about the legal case. Rodgers comes out fighting on Liverpool's behalf. So I think that must be, was it the director of Liverpool at the time? Luis Suarez.
He would have been the manager, wouldn't he?
Oh, Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah.
Right. Now Mr. Eddie Howe can speak openly.
I actually think, because Howe is a very, I can't think of the word, but I don't think he's the type of guy to still come out and say anything too negative about Alexander.
I think he is. I think because Isak has now really put the club in disrepute. I don't think Howe was going to say he can never play for the club again. He's not going to say that. But I think he'll word things, and it's still in the diplomatic way, as you're saying. But people will feel his wrath, I think.
Oh, yeah. But I don't think it'll be more of a scathing. It won't be to the level of what Isak's done here. It will be like a the similar quotes he's been given, that it should be private, it should be behind closed doors, but then he'll give another sentence after that just gives off just how annoyed he is by the situation.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And guys, I see a few folks fighting in the chat. Guys, my apologies if I've amped up anything, but we're trying to break this down as peacefully, as calmly as possible. This is temporary. This whole Isak thing or whatever football stuff is temporary. It's for tonight. We'll go back to sleep. We'll see our loved ones by the grace of God, and we move on. We'll continue having the channel on Sundays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll continue to meet. Me and by the grace of God, Mitch will still continue to come on the channel. I'll come on his channel. We're going to be talking lots of football. We'll continue. Let's try not to lose our heads, our minds over this, even though I understand the controversy of it. And we've still got the football match to go as well. So, let's be as peaceful as we can. So let me just finish this article. Luis Suarez will be told by Liverpool. Isak will be told by Newcastle to train away from the squad until he shows a better attitude. Yes, with his angry manager Brendan Rodgers accusing him of showing total disrespect of the club. And this is the part I do expect Eddie Howe to say, or at least in his own Eddie Howe way to say it. Rodgers rejected Suarez's claim that the striker was promised. It was promised a move this summer if Liverpool did not qualify for the Champions League. Guess what? Newcastle did qualify for the Champions League. It's a bit different, but we qualified for the Champions League. And in a further setback for the Uruguayan, the Professional Football Association, the same association that's had this award tonight, has concluded there is no clause in his contract guaranteeing him a move for £40 million. So, for all these legal stuff that I don't really know about, people are saying, unless Isak, because Isak so far has been talking about promises behind closed doors, unless he's got something on written paper, like a bam, like an ace in the hole type of situation, unless he's got something like that, he's staying at Newcastle. And the PFA will back Newcastle for that. Suarez's public outburst against Liverpool. He does it in an interview with The Guardian. That lets you know how long ago it was. Nowadays, they do it on Instagram, right? At least Suarez did it in front of a journalist, and Isak did it behind a screen on Instagram on his phone. Has backfired on him with the order to train away from the squad, effectively signaling that he has become an outcast because of his desire to leave for Arsenal. And that Rodgers regards as a lack of respect for the club and his teammates. The manager said Suarez must publicly apologize before he can be considered for playing again. What do you think about that, Mitch? And do you think history is sort of repeating itself? And do you also agree with, is Mitch gone? All right, also, I'm thinking now is, what do you guys think? Is it? I feel like there's a lot of echoing here from the past here with the Suarez situation. And Suarez makes a public statement. Isak makes a public statement. Suarez wants to leave for Arsenal. I'm assuming that, I can't remember how Arsenal were doing. I'm assuming they were doing well those times. Hey, sorry there, Mitch, you're back. I was saying, I don't know if you had a chance to kind of follow along the Suarez article. I was just saying in terms of just how much I feel like there's a lot of similarities. There's differences because there's time differences. So Suarez went to The Guardian. So I don't know if Instagram was existing back when Suarez did this. Maybe not. Isak went on Instagram to do his thing. And I said at least Suarez did it in front of a journalist.
Yeah. Yeah, I caught all of that. I just dipped out for a second. One of my daughters came down.
So, oh, God bless her. And look, and so the PFA even supported Liverpool's stance on Suarez, saying that there's nothing in this contract to say they can leave for £40 million. Unless Isak has got anything in his contract to say, I don't think he does, because he's not saying anything in his Instagram. The same thing will be happening here. The other thing I was going to say is, and I'll take it over to you, is Rodgers' response was for Suarez to train away, and if he's ever to play for the club again, he's going to have to make a public apology, which I think is fair because Suarez made the public statement, right? Yeah. What's your thoughts on it? Do you think there's some echoes from the past from this? Is there something that Newcastle can learn from this? Or what are kind of the differences, if anything, really?
I would say the only difference is that this, I can't remember the exact situation with Suarez, but it feels like this has dragged on a lot longer.
Mm-hmm. And
the criticism that Isak has thrown out is so far off what's actually happened that it's a slightly worse situation, because this all sort of, from what I remember, the Suarez thing happened. I think it's about I think it was 2013. The Suarez thing all kind of happened quite quickly. It came out. Arsenal put in their stupid £40 million and £1 bid.
They made it even worse. That was a disrespect. The 110 million was a disrespect, but Arsenal took the biscuit there. Sorry, go on.
And then Suarez threw his strop, flew away, and it all seemed to happen within a couple of weeks. This has been rumbling on for ages, and now that he's done this, I feel like he's disrespected the whole club a lot more than what Suarez did. I feel like the bid, he damaged a lot of the bridge with the early part, but this has like completely blown it up. It's non-existent now. There's no, I just physically can't see how he comes back in, where I never thought that with the Suarez situation. I always looked at it and thought, okay, yeah, he's pushing for a move, but all he has to do is, like Brendan Rodgers said, is apologize to people and it will come back. I don't even think an apology really suits it. He's going to have to grovel. He's going to have to do an awful lot to get back in. And I only said earlier today, someone at work asked me about it. And I only said earlier today that I'm not going to make an outlandish statement either way on this, because I just trust in how Eddie Howe wants to deal with the situation. And I'm still in exactly the same boat. If Eddie Howe thinks he can fix it, then I'm fine with it. But it's gone from a position of, if he hadn't made this statement and he'd missed a few more games and came back in after the international break, like I thought he would, it potentially would have taken maybe 1 or 2 games where people could see he's trying and a few goals, and the fans kind of would have been back on board. But knowing how Newcastle fans are, how we are as a fan base, and how the city is, and how it's an army, it's a family more than just a load of different fans going into a stadium, everybody's going to be against him for a very long time now. And it's going to take a lot. He might be able to win the players over. He might be able to win Howe over. But the fans are not going to be on board with him after a few games, some effort, and a few goals now. It's going to be a much, much longer road to get the fans back on side from this point. Because once Newcastle fans feel disrespected as a fan base, you're in trouble. That's a hard ship to turn back round.
I can see that. BT says Eddie will not say that in public, that Isak has disrespected the club or anything. So I think it's more in line with what you're saying, Mitch, or anything like it. He is not that type of person. There's something, you know what, there is a perception of Eddie as being really, and he is balanced, he is measured, we know that. But I think there's something even Lewis Hall and other players have intimated that, yeah, he is, balanced and nice, but you don't want to get on the wrong side of him.
Ruthless.
He's rude, they've all said this, they've all intimated this, and there's the fact that the team is so together, and he's got the likes of Joe. He's got some, Newcastle are known as like a very rough team. We're always bantered for being physical, but it's really like a backhanded compliment. You guys are big. you're aggressive, you're big personalities. And like Eddie Howe said, you're not here to make, to be popular, you're here to compete. A manager with, I'm not going to say soft, but like just overly balanced, overly diplomatic, I can say, isn't going to hold the team like that down. I think there's going to be something behind that. There's going to be an element of chaos that the players know that could happen should they cross this man. Now, I'm not saying, my mic's going to go off again. I'm not saying that he's going to let loose in the press conference. I do think that he will. I don't know if you remember. Remember when he said something along the lines of when they were talking about Isak coming back to training, and he was or not being told to train away, and Eddie said, "This is Newcastle United. You have to earn your right to train with this team." So I kind of maybe what I'm saying is, in a better way, I'm kind of expecting that tone. Is what I'm expecting.
Like you, I don't expect it to be a full sort of outburst or anything like that. But there was like behind the scenes, there will be stuff that Isak really needs to do. He's on the wrong side of him now, and there's a few players that know that there's sometimes you can't make that back. Who was the winger that came from Bournemouth?
Oh, Ryan Fraser.
Yes. Played with Eddie Howe at Bournemouth. Him and Wilson had a wonderful connection. Everybody thought when Howe came to Newcastle, we'd see something similar. Fraser had done something to Howe previously.
He refused to play for Bournemouth in their last cup. Yeah, he refused to play because,
And he basically hardly ever got a look in for Newcastle.
Yeah.
He played a few and he came off the bench a few times. But once it got to a point that there was no longer a need for him to play any games, he did not see any time on the pitch whatsoever. So as much as Howe is a nice guy and he says things very diplomatic and he comes across in press conferences as the mild-mannered gentleman, stuff like that proves get on the wrong side of him, you're in a bad place.
Exactly. Big up to all the guys in the chat. Wobo Jog. So many. The chat is absolutely flying off the Richter. As always, guys, please do remember to like, share, and subscribe. We've got Mitch in the house. We've got so many folks. Jordy Toon for life. I saw RSO76, Colin Hamilton. So many folks are in the chat. You guys are letting your views known as well. Remember, all this is going to pass, but we're all still going to be here. So, always banter, always jokes, but we're always going to be friendly and loving to each other as well. As Smokey says, okay, Sophie, can we move on and be nice? And look, that's what I love. Sophie says, that's fine with me. Don't diss my club, though. That's why I love this chat. That's why I love this chat. And I was saying to folks, this, I just came off the football. It's not just on football. It's like on other chat, and people might see me on the rival show. It might come across like it, but I actually don't not debating, but arguing with rival fans generally, because I don't like what it puts out. But
sorry to butt in. Go to the club website. The club website has its own statement out.
Okay, I love this. Newcastle. Oh gosh, I'm videoing myself here. Can you still hear me, Mitch?
Yeah, can still hear you. Yeah.
All right. So, can you see that?
Yep.
Picture of of Alexander Isak. I'm so happy. My club is geez, come on, where are you going now? Let me go down. Where is it?
It's just down. If you go down, I think it's just below the bit you was on. Just
here we go. Picture of Alexander Isak, Newcastle United. So this is get back. Quick time response. I was saying, Mitch, maybe tomorrow, because I wasn't sure. These guys came back. They first went to Craig Hope, then they said, no, that's not enough. 8 minutes ago. So this is now what, 2 hours after the statement from Mr. Isak? Let's do this. Let's go.
Even the players are jumping on it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Go on. What did he say? What did he say?
I don't think he's actually posted any words on it, but he's posted on what looks like his Instagram with him standing, looking proud in the kit with the big Newcastle symbol behind him.
Big up. My
Bruno's the
captain.
guy.
I don't know what your captain does, but my captain does that stuff. All right, so we are disappointed to have been alerted. That's interesting words there. We are disappointed to have been alerted to a social media post by Alexander Isak this evening. We are clear in response that Alex remains under contract and that no commitment has ever been made by a club official that Alex can leave Newcastle United this summer. I had an interesting conversation with Football Terrace. There was someone that writes contract, lovely lady. She was saying that you can make contracts verbally. And I said, you need witnesses to that? She goes, yes. Well, Newcastle have declined to be witnesses by saying that we have made no such promise. They made this in big bold writing, by the way. Do you notice that? Can you see that, Mitch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like it's part of the heading rather than part of the article.
So, in case anybody's unclear, this is Newcastle, and it goes on to say, we want to keep our best players, but we also understand players have their own wishes, and we listen to their views. As explained to Isak and his representatives, we must always take into consideration the best interests of Newcastle United, the team, and our supporters in all decisions. And we have been clear that the conditions of a sale this summer have not transpired. We do not foresee those conditions being met. This is a proud football club with proud traditions, and we strive to retain our family feel. I'll ask you about that, Mitch. What do you think about that statement? Alex remains part of our family. We sound like the mafia right now. I got Tony Soprano in my mind. Alex remains part of our family and will be welcome back when he is ready to rejoin his teammates. I'm just waiting for that to sink in. Go on, Mitch.
Wow. that last bit. To be fair, when I saw it on the thingy, I didn't even read it. I saw it was there. I wanted to wait until it was on the screen. That bit there is very unexpected. Very, very unexpected. But I don't even know how to take it. I don't even know how to take that little sort of sentence, paragraph at all. But the rest of it, that top bit, the top paragraph,
okay,
the sort of the intro bit is exactly what I'd want from the club right now. It's exactly, it's like,
let's do this together then, because let me do the special sentence breakdown with you guys, and we'll take it from there. Because for me, it comes very clear, but I think I'm shocked about how clear it is, and we'll do it together. We'll do it together, the chat, and I appreciate for all the folks that are here. Nearly up to 50 people. Guys, please do like, share, and subscribe. You've been absolutely phenomenal, by the way. And I love to see how I saw people in the chat. We rumbled, we got angry, we said some things, but we made up. You guys are amazing. We did a breakdown of Mr. Isak's statement, which was all about Isak. Now, Newcastle United need to have made a statement. We are disappointed. That's the first feeling. So we're not angry. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Anybody ever told you that before? I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. You know, like when your parents.
That actually hurts even more. It's like, oh damn, I've gone too far this time.
You know, like your parents caught you smoking. I'm like, I'm not even angry. I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed in you. We're disappointed to have been alerted. You know, when someone's alerted, like there's like there's something we didn't know what was happening. We're just minding our daily business. We've been shaken out of our stupor. We've had to get up. Look how late it is. To a social media post by Alexander Isak this evening. And I want to again tell people that for those that can't see, the part I'm reading to you guys now is in big, bold writing. The second paragraph goes back into like normal kind of font size. Newcastle. So this tells me that Newcastle want to make this bold writing very, very clear. They're not mixing their words. So they're disappointed. They've been alerted to Mr. and they've been very clear. It's Mr. Isak that's alerted us to this. And we're disappointed about this. We are clear in response that Alex remains under contract. You're under contract. It's legally binding. So anybody who's got anything to say about it's going to be fought in court. There's going to be a contract. People have been let loose. Newcastle United are standing on it. They're saying, "I dare you. Let's do it." Remains under contract. And then the following sentence, there's no full stop here. We are clear in response that Alex remains under contract and that no commitments. Isak was going on about these promises. Newcastle was saying that no commitment has ever been made by a club official. It kind of undercuts what Craig Hope is saying about Amanda Staveley. We know Paul Mitchell didn't offer anything, but Amanda Staveley. By a club official that Newcastle can... Well, it doesn't actually undercut it because Staveley would be so long. I keep on thinking like it's this year.
But it's the word ever. So it wipes out.
Okay. It wipes out. Yeah, it wipes out
everything. It's like no one has ever said this to you. Ever. No one.
Ever. It's in your mind, bro. What's that song? It's in your head. So yeah, that's what they're saying. By a club official that Alex can leave. It's not Alexander anymore. It's Alex. That's interesting. Alex can leave Newcastle United this summer. I wish this is. I should have kept my powder dry. I shouldn't have been on WhatsApp. I shouldn't have been going back and forth with people. I should have. This is the test for me. This is Newcastle. This is in bold letters. Newcastle are disappointed in Isak. They're clear that he's under contract. They're clear no commitment has been made. They're clear that no club official. So whatever you say about Amanda Staveley, they're almost saying they're basically she's not even an official. Take that as you will. That Alex can leave Newcastle United. Not even Alex, not Mr. Isak, not Alexander Isak. Alex can leave Newcastle United this summer. So Melissa Reddy, Fabrizio Romano, Ornstein, everybody, they're going to be on posts. Everyone's going to be ducking and diving. Everyone's going to be coming out with their posts. But we spoke to them before. Newcastle United have come out in big, bold writing to let you know that we have never made ever, the word ever, ever, like ever, ever. That's in. This is not me. I'm not even emphasizing. Again, if you guys are just watching or just listening to it, I'm not exaggerating. These sentences are in big, bold writing. They're not putting it in small print. You know, they're not like, there's no, maybe there's a misunderstanding. You know, people say there's been a miscommunication. You know when they say there's been a miscommunication, right? It's almost like someone saying, we've said something, but we can see how you've interpreted it the wrong way. Newcastle is saying, ever, we have never, ever told you this. They've gone on to clarify it. We want to keep our best players. The interest of the club, the fans, everybody is what we hold dear. We understand and we understood that Mr. Isak wanted to leave. But we set out conditions to Mr. Isak, what it will take for it to be transpired. It has not transpired. And anybody following posts, the banter that we've been getting for all the rejections, now you can use that as evidence that Newcastle United have tried. Right? Oh boy, have we tried. We've even overpaid for Sesko. We were ready to overpay for Sesko, overpay for Ekatike. We were going to even give a wage structure to Sesko that at the time would have been more than someone saying something funny in the chat.
Yeah, Wobo joke. Bet this is the best Bomba Phil and Mitch have had in the past decade.
I'm milking it for all I've got. Because you don't understand, like, honestly, the battles I've been having with my fellow content creators and people in the WhatsApps and the chats and everything else, and Mitch will know and everybody will know, I've been having intensely with people about, and you know what, to be fair, Mr. Mitch was on here with me and Bobby Fairview. Mr. Mitch is the one that held firm and said, I don't know about this. We were like, it's done, mate. You need to accept it. Credit where credit is due to Mr. Mitch saying, nah, I don't believe all these narratives. And this goes back to saying exactly what he was saying, which is the club have not said that, like, we need to hear from the club. We need to see what they're saying. They're not saying anything. This is just media talk. And when I tell my fellow content creators about, when I say narratives and stuff, I'm not necessarily saying that people are lying, like Ornstein is lying and stuff like that. It can be complicated. He would hear different stories from different people, agents, players, people who claim to be club officials. It is in his best interest to be known as authentic and to give you live news. But he has to take all these voices into account. And sometimes certain voices get amplified more than others.
Yeah.
And he being a human being can also be caught out of it. So I've been having lots of WhatsApp warrior messages. When I raised the issue of Ornstein being in Anfield and talking about Isak and promises made. And there was a post about, how this allowed is kind of peddling this propaganda. My thing wasn't about stifling journalists from saying what they want to say. My thing was about Ornstein the previous week, I think, and Alex Cook and others saying, Liverpool are not leaking any information to Ornstein. We're not leaking it. This is all Isak, this is all his agents. Only for him to be allowed to go to Anfield and to go start talking about the broken promises.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the man lied. Isak confirmed that this is how Isak feels.
Yeah.
This is how Newcastle United feel. Yeah. Not even feel. They're putting in bold writing. They're not saying the word miscommunication. They're saying it.
Yeah. And
go on. Sorry, Mitch.
These two statements will show you exactly why you get what you get from your Ornsteins and your Fabrizios. So they will get fed information from someone who wants to paint a narrative that is fluffy. It's not factual, but they won't lie. They'll give them a little bit of information that can be misconstrued. Whereas the club have now come out, Isak's put out this fluffy statement that doesn't really say an awful lot. It makes his stance known, but doesn't give you any information. The club have come out and gone, no. Let's not blur the lines. I want this written in bold, in permanent
Yeah.
marker, so everybody can read it clearly. This is it. This is what's happened. This is what hasn't happened. This is where we stand. This is the situation as of now of fact. I'm fed up with all of this talk that I've heard. You now come up and said something. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. Whereas the Isak agent would have gone and fed, or whoever it is that's feeding Fabrizio and Ornstein, they would have fed him a bit of information, but not give him loads of details so they can turn it in whichever way they want to turn it that gets the clicks. And they'll be like, I've been told that Isak wants to do this. No quotes. They just give you bits of information, but nothing you can quote. So it's easy to run with whatever the people want to hear or whatever will get the most clicks and stuff like that. The club now have just shuttled that down. It was like, bun this, I've had enough. This is what it is. Listen to us, but get all the other noise.
So now when Fabrizio, Ornstein, whoever, God bless them, cannot now post and say club sources or we've heard. If you're a Newcastle fan reading that, just go back to the statement here. Just go to the official website. Newcastle United Football Club have made it very, very clear. And not only, and they've done what I love the fact that they've mentioned this. This is a proud football club. This is a proud football club. I think it's important that they've mentioned that because we've been in an absolute media storm. And Isak has been, and his agent and everybody else has been running us through the absolute mud with this stuff. It's a proud football club with proud traditions.
Yep.
And we strive to retain our family feel. This is we're going to become we're keeping the door ajar. We're not closing the door. Tony Soprano. Alex remains part of our family. And will be welcomed back when he is ready to rejoin his teammates. It goes back to what Eddie Howe said when Isak's ready. And the way it was said by newspapers, and again, I'm not saying newspapers were lying or something like that, but the way it was portrayed is Isak is dictating terms to Newcastle. But after you read all this other stuff, you're like, oh no, he's not. He's been told off. He's gone off to go chill out. The doors, and when you're ready to behave yourself, when you've shot your shot, bro. You've gone on, so your agent's been everywhere. You've been doing the media pressure. The intermediaries have been everywhere. Everybody's been speaking. Melissa Reddy has been talking for you. Fabrizio Romano has been saying players won't join if they know they can't move. If they know they can't move, they won't join. There's not mention of Jacob Ramsey and everybody, but fine. Jacob Ramsey's not scared. Larson might not be scared. Now we might get Larson too. They might not, this is just, if they broken promises to him, no. The conditions have not been met. And not only that, we do not foresee these conditions being met. So now Liverpool Football Club, this whole thing about we don't want to bid because we don't want to bid in the dark. You're not bidding in the dark. We've always said 150 million. Everybody laughed it off. We're going to buy 2 strikers and we want 150 million.
Yep.
I would not be surprised if we softened our stance a little bit on the 150 million. It might have come in a package deal. But we're going to get 150 million and we want our 2 strikers. There's 2 weeks left now. It's not going to be met. I do not expect, and I'm sure Ben Jacobs and everybody else, to now say Newcastle won't open their doors. They won't open their door. We will bid when Newcastle open. Mate,
This is Newcastle. They've it's open house. The doors
It's
are
open
open.
house. This is it.
You can come in and have a look around, but it doesn't matter. We're not selling. Like, come in, have a cup of tea, sit down, have some cake. What do you want to talk about? But you're not having Isak. You could do whatever else you want in the house, but you're not having Isak.
This is it, folks.
Everybody was pretending that we were looking at the curtains, waiting for him to go away like they were Jehovah's Witness. It's not. That's never been the case.
You're welcome to come. Oh, swear, I'm not. That's why. Doesn't it make sense to you? I can't understand why now. Isak knows this, right? Because the way they're writing this, they're saying that we're cleared. He knows this. Because remember when he didn't go on the tour before or after the whole. It was leading up to the Ekatike deal. Was it the Ekatike deal that he really then we got the post from Ornstein? Isak is not what did he say? He's not. What was it for? Not rejoining the squad or something along the lines of. It made it clear that he's not like he's not happy with the club. Like that's when it happened.
That was that was just a couple of days before the tour, because I remember saying something along the lines of, if he doesn't go to Asia, we will know what's happening. It was what was it? It must have been Rangers. That he didn't play due to what was the game back in? We went to Rangers, we flew back, we played a game and he didn't play. And they said about injury. And I was like, oh, yeah,
Celtic.
maybe he has got Celtic. So that was it. So we came back from Austria, played Celtic, and he didn't play due to injury. And then we were flying out to Asia the following week. And so that must have been when the Ekatike stuff was going on. Because I remember saying, if he doesn't go to Asia, it will be very telling about how much this is about him leaving rather than an injury. And then he obviously didn't go to Asia, and it was like, okay. And then Liverpool started doing their old, well, if you don't sell us Isak, we'll buy Ekatike, thinking they were being clever. They've bought Ekatike and now haven't got enough money.
He did something in that period when Ekatike went to Liverpool. He did something in that 24. There was a real statement released where, like, yeah, he wants to move. He's told the club he wants to move. There was a statement about, like, he was like, that's when it really kicked off.
Was that when his house went up for rent or wherever it was? It was up for like.
No, there was a statement from Ornstein. Literally, there was a statement from Ornstein to say Isak has made it clear, something along the lines of Isak making it clear that he wants to join Liverpool. He doesn't want to be at Newcastle. He's made it like clear that it was on the back of this Ekatike deal. What I was going to ask about that is, what I feel like if that's the case, he's angry at the wrong club.
Yeah, he's angry at all the wrong people here.
He's angry at all the wrong people.
Yeah, he's trying to make out that him leaving does us all a favour, and it's great. It's great for Newcastle, great for the fans, blah blah blah. Newcastle and the players up until this point are the only people that's had Alexander Isak's back.
Yes,
the only people that have been there. Not trying to throw him under a bus, not feeding him dumb lines, not trying to tell him something that's not true. Liverpool, he must have had conversations with Liverpool and been like, yeah, cool, I want to come, blah, 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 pay the money. They haven't paid the money. His agent has brokered all of this, caused all of this situation, and hasn't got the deal done. The only thing, Newcastle haven't done anything until this statement other than back him completely and just say, look, when you're ready, we're here. We're here for you, regardless. Explore your avenues. If your avenues don't work out, if a deal doesn't materialize, we're here. And that bottom line is still the club saying exactly the same thing. But all they're saying now is, don't explore other avenues. You're not leaving. Once you've collected up all your toys, put them back in the pram, stop crying, dried your eyes, and you want to come back and say sorry to everybody at the club, we're still here.
We're still here for you. So we can reintegrate. We can.
Yeah, I did, until till that line in the statement, I didn't think it was possible.
Right. So let's see what the chat's saying. We've got a few people. Stephen Ryder, I think it's a Liverpool fan. Liverpool want him, but don't need him. Okay. He's going to be disappointed if that's the case. This statement will only tarnish Newcastle in the future signings. My initial, I don't know how, me personally, players and agents and anybody in football will know that this is typical stuff.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been this open before. All Newcastle have done is open the doors. This is just another day, but it just has been behind closed doors. Isak has, in his statement, says it's behind closed doors. Newcastle opened the doors. It's interesting because Newcastle are tarnished when the doors were closed. They're even now tarnished when the doors are open.
I actually think this statement does the reverse.
Is it the reverse?
Because everybody's trying to paint us in a bad way, and Isak's tried to do the same. And the club have gone, no, hold on. There's been no agreement. The only agreement is the contract. So they're basically saying that as a player, you come to us, we make an agreement, we stick to it. This isn't a case of us not sticking to an agreement. This is just the case of a player wanting something that can't happen because the agreement of all the terms that he needs to get to where he wants to go haven't been met, and we cannot see them being met.
We even, like you said, we acknowledge that. Yeah, we know your wishes. We set conditions for your wishes.
Yeah,
and we're not like, even if you're a rival fan and maybe you know that we've tried to buy strikers this season. There's no ambiguity about that. We might still get Larson.
Yeah. To be fair, striker is the only position apart from Trafford where people can say we have actually been rejected, because we were fully in for at least 4 strikers.
Yeah. Oh, so you mean the positions? Just about the positions,
yeah,
rather. Okay.
Position-wise, because everybody keeps throwing in midfielders and wingers.
Yeah. So Pedro, exactly. Pedro, Ekitike, Benjamin, exactly. Pedro,
yeah, so
exactly.
The 4 strikers,
exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Pedro.
I wonder if Isak didn't make such a public statement, it would have been easier for us to get a striker.
Probably. Probably.
So I don't think it tarnishes Newcastle in my opinion, honestly. Shank Corell says, I'm going to wrap up in the next 10 minutes or so. Thanks, Mitch, for being here as well, and the chat and everybody else here. I am proud to be. Let me know, folks, how many likes we've got in the chat. I hope we've got a conversion rate. I hope we got me calling out the like, share, and subscribes. We can get a Newcastle United official club statement response rate. I want a Newcastle United response rate to the call out for the Newcastle for the like today. We're not waiting this morning. So Yasser Ramayan got onto the phone to the communications guy, woke him out of bed and said, "Mambroski, you better make a statement." And we did.
I am proud chip on this.
Kent Corral says, I am proud to be a Newcastle United fan. Isak staying because 2 criteria didn't occur. Yet 2 strikers we couldn't sign yet. Not 2 valuations of Isak couldn't reach from by any club. 150 million. We were honest. We did what we said. Stephen Ryder says, what if he does stay on strike and does a FIFA Article 17 next season? Again, I don't know too much about the law. Like, you'll have to, if you guys know what that means. But the fact that Newcastle have the first sentence they're talking about his contract and that no promises were made, it sounds to me that Newcastle are very bold, and they put it in bold and said, let's go for it. Let's do this Article 17. Let's go. Like, if that's where you want to go, let's do this. Let's go. Me and you will dance. We're gonna dance. We're gonna do this dance today. Like, Newcastle ready to do that, honestly. Colin Hamilton says, if I was the owner of Newcastle, I would have sold Isak for 80 million to whoever else. Not well. there's a couple of sources that I read where, like, discussions, for instance, with Barcelona. I don't know if you saw the one, Mitch, with Barcelona for Ferran Torres and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised. But again, we're not going to make deals. I understand the sentiment, but we're not going to make deals because Eddie Howe will say it has to be a forward that I need. Smokey, sorry, go on, Mitch. You were going to say something?
No, I was just agreeing.
Smokey says Isak has come out and said he won't wear the badge again. So are you happy to keep him? I wouldn't be. Well, we literally just read the whole thing about Suarez. You kept Suarez. We're just following in your footsteps. Suarez wasn't happy, and he still got you. I think you guys got into back into Europe that season. I think Newcastle are very clear. They're not worried about his happiness. Like Isak he's done everything he could. His happiness is no longer a worry of ours. We might have been worried about it before. We're not so worried about it. Do you know what I mean? We're not so worried about it now. Like, there's nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, when it's just you've confessed all your sins. Like, what else are you gonna say? It is what it is. Yeah. Warbo Jog says, Phil and Mitch, you guys have any friends in real estate? Got a friend who'll be looking for a new home around SJB very soon. Let's see. Colin says, I'm not bothered. I'm a Newcastle fan. I don't give a doo-doo what Isak does. I would take a mid-table finish right now rather than pay his. I wouldn't go. I understand him. I wouldn't go that far. And I'm not going to refer to players as dogs either. As Newcastle said, we are a family club. Sire Robson with a proud tradition. Sire Robson says, so what if he doesn't want to play for us anymore? If we don't get 150 million for him, he's not going to play. What don't you understand? What don't you understand about this? What else am I missing? Martin Bland says, Liverpool fans are finding themselves in our shoes. Not fun, is it? Oh dear, 12 days to go, one striker going into the season. Oh, Mitch, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? How do you think Liverpool are going to respond? My initial thought was you're going to hear Liverpool going to other targets, but what's your thoughts?
I think that's the only way they can respond, because Newcastle are now clear we're not selling. And it's not just the fee that Liverpool have to pay for Isak that we're missing on what has to add up for him to leave. So they would be silly to try and do anything other than just move on. And I actually think, weirdly, that it benefits them to move on from this situation, because I think their money is much better spent elsewhere, not on a striker. So I'd be shocked if they even entertain trying to do anything in this deal for the rest of the summer.
RSO76 says, Liverpool put out an exact statement about Coutinho 2 weeks before he left. Someone tweeted it. Now, we'd have to go back in time, but I remember that Coutinho went for a record transfer fee, which Newcastle have yet to receive. In fact, Newcastle haven't received the bid yet. Well, we received the bid, but it was a derisory bid. Let me know, if anybody, did Liverpool have a replacement ready? Did they have a replacement for Coutinho? Because Newcastle don't. So I don't know if the implication is it doesn't matter that Newcastle sent the statement. He can still get sold. Newcastle, even in this statement, are clear that there are conditions for Isak's replacement, for Isak to go. And they have not been met. And it is not looking like they will be met with 12 days to go. 2 strikers and 150 million. I don't know if you've seen the latest Whistle news, but that guy is not going anywhere.
Nope.
Larson Wolves are standing firm. Newcastle have made it clear that they're doing this for the club, the fans who are obviously we're all part of the club, the fans and our traditions. They've put it on the line here. So unless Coutinho, I'm going to assume this, that Coutinho's price was met and that Liverpool had the replacement. Neither of these things. So if you're implying RSL 76 that this statement doesn't matter, I don't at this stage. I don't know what else Newcastle can do. If you're saying that Liverpool can just pay 110 million for Isak, and Newcastle have no forwards, and Isak's going to go after this statement, I just don't see it. I don't know what you think, Mitch.
There's no way that this is going to. If that happened and he left 2 weeks after, there's no way this happens. In fact, he hasn't even got 2 weeks left. He's got 11 days. So we haven't even got a 2 week time frame from this for that to work. But this makes this statement completely pointless and otherwise. But this all backs up what I've believed about the way the club wants to go moving forward. We don't want to be seen as the small brother that could be pushed around either by players or other clubs. The Saudis are not them people. They don't become as wealthy as they are by being them people, and they're not going to start now. So anyone who actually believes that, I think you need to really look into how any of the high-level Saudi people do business. They do not get pushed around. And when people try and push around, they double down. And they have always operated in that way. So there's no way they're going to do anything different here, because this is the first time in football that they've had a chance to put their foot down and go, no. You might look at the club in a certain way from previous years, but now you look at us as this, and this is it going forward. So you either respect us how we want to be respected, or we'll start doing things a completely different way with everybody.
Exactly. It'll be more damaging. Like the damage, that it will be irreparable. Like your word does not mean it means zip, and not just to other clubs, but to our own players.
Yeah, to everybody. Yeah, players will look at it and go, "Well, yeah, we just if someone wants to leave, throw the toys out the pram, get the agent to do this, release a statement, get the other club to make noise. Eventually, it will happen, and it will people will start trying to do it over and over and over again."
Robo Jog says, I don't know if I can read it because Phil, I think the entire chat wants to reread of that statement in Vito Corleone's accent. I don't know if I can do it, but I'll try. We are disappointed to have been alerted to a social media post by Alexander Isak this evening. And we are clear in response that Alex remains under contract and that no commitment has ever been made by a club official that Alex can leave Newcastle United this summer. We want to keep our best players, but we do also understand that players have their own wishes. And we listen to these views. As explained to Alex and his representatives, we must always take into consideration the best interests of Newcastle United, the team and our supporters in all these decisions. And we have been clear that the conditions of a sale this summer have not been transpired. We do not foresee those conditions being met. This is a proud football club with proud traditions, and we have to strive to retain our family feel. Alex remains part of our family, and he will be welcomed back when he is ready to rejoin his teammates. That was my attempt.
Gonna have to give that a round of applause.
All right, folks. So we'll just a couple more statements and we'll let everybody go way past midnight. I'm glad you got that Robo Jog. Chen Corral says, believe me, guys, after this transfer window, we're having the best, That's the part that's going under the radar. I'm going to be doing a big review of our Newcastle squad as well. But I noticed something going on in transfer window the other day. First of all, the value of our squad has risen by 70 million. So we've gone from 650 to 720. And the age of our squad has dropped from like 28 to 26.2. These are just already small indicators. We know the players, but when we get to the specifics of the players, that Newcastle squad, under all this kerfuffle and posts and rejections or whatever people want to talk about, Newcastle squad is getting better.
Yeah. We're doing that magician trick, innit? It's like, look over here, look over here, when the magic's actually happening somewhere else. And it's just like, hey, you got to keep your eye on us.
Exactly. Believe me, guys, after the transfer window, we're having the best squad since the takeover, and Eddie Howe has got the right almost everything apart this Isak situation. Otherwise, I can tell you could go for top two. Just for laughs says, Phil, keep this channel going after this September. Why? I don't plan to close.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't get that. No, we're going to keep going. So a bit. If he stays as Newcastle, and Steve Myers says, if he stays as Newcastle say, and he sticks like as Newcastle says, is his contract. Just to say, it's his contract that says it as well, and he sticks to his statement and not plays. Do you finish in top 4 this season? We'll see. That's another conversation, honestly. Davey, good to see you. God bless you. Philip, I couldn't care less if I never see Isak wearing our colours anymore. I get that sentiment. All right, guys, we're going to conclude the show. We've had bombers after bombers after bombers. Everything that I planned, I had a match review. Goodness gracious, I had a match review going for Aston Villa. I had another scouting report for Mr. Ramsey, how he played with Gordon and the role that he would be taking up. But it's okay, because Isak wanted to release a statement, and we broke down that statement, and Mitch very kindly, he was just minding his business. He was just writing a chat, and I was like, oh, please, can you come on the show? And he did that for us, and so very grateful for us. We broke down Isak's statement. We then saw, and my camera's going off, but we broke down Isak's statement. We broke down the club statement, which the get back was 2 hours later. Like literally, Newcastle first it came from Craig Hope. We broke down Craig Hope's statement, and then we broke down Isak's statement. And we've been doing a lot of statement breaking downs. Like my camera at the moment. So I take from it that Isak has thrown his last shot. It's like a last retreat, a last surrender. There's nothing more Isak can do. Newcastle have made it clear that he's under contract. They've told the story of how all of this has transpired, that no club official has ever, and they made it in bold writing, has given Isak any promises that he could leave this summer. What Newcastle have told Mr. Isak, there are conditions for his sale which have not been met. And we know what those conditions are. 2 strikers and 150 million. These have not been met. And so it is looking like, from Newcastle's perspective, that we do not foresee that this is going to happen this summer either. Mitch, let the folks know where they can find you. Yeah. And if you've got anything planned this week as well.
Yeah, well, you can find me Where the Owls Sleep on YouTube. Our shows go out 9 p.m. every Sunday. That's our slot. We're going to stick by it. We have also started doing match preview shows that are slightly unique. We get our tack pad out about an hour before a game every weekend. We haven't picked the one for this weekend, but check it out. See if you can catch one of them. I think Philip's dropped off, so it's just me in a minute. Yeah, so check out the channel. There's also some shorts on there and stuff. So even if there's not a show on, go and check out the shorts. Little bits of animation going on there. But outside of that, you can catch both of us on Spurs Kings TV tomorrow. I would definitely recommend that now, because that's going to be quite the show.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah,
that show's going to be insane. God bless the chat. You guys have been absolutely phenomenal. Mitch, thank you so much.
Yeah, God bless you as well, sir. Thank you for having me again.
Amazing, guys. We catch you all on Thursday, and as Mitch said, you'll see us. You'll see us on the Rival Show talking all things Newcastle United. I would love to hear what the Rivals say. And until next time, guys, make sure you look after each other. It's been, and I've been so proud to see people making up after having a little fight, a little tussle. Just like I'm sure Isak's going to make up with Newcastle. And so make sure you look after each other, and God bless you, folks.